I want to start with you on the comments about LeBron's son not living up to expectations, and you didn't back down on those comments. Were you surprised at how upset he was?
No, because like I said, anytime you talk about somebody's kids, people get real touchy. Okay, that was my opinion on what I felt about it. Somebody asked me a question about that. I just didn't come out and say, well, you know what? I think my boys are going to be better than LeBron James boys. I don't care what he does with his family. Let him do what he's going to do. But for him to say he warned me and keep words out of my mouth, you talking to the wrong dude. I'm going to say whatever I want to say, and ain't nobody going to do nothing. Come do something.
You don't think it was too personal, though?
It wasn't personal. I didn't say his kid was like, oh, man, he sucks. He's not going to be that. I was just saying, show me a superstar athlete that had a son that was better than him. Or I'm talking about a superstar. I ain't talking about no regular player.
Usually doesn't work that way.
It never
Usually
works that way.
Bobby Bonds is the dad,
Right.
and Barry Bonds is the kid, Ken Griffey Sr., all-star is the dad, and the superstar is the kid. But in this case, so I understand where you're coming from, and I've defended you a lot on TV recently.
Yes.
I like the
you,
fact
Rex.
that, thank you. I like the fact that you have a big imagination
Right.
and you don't put limits on your kids. You
Exactly.
and now all of a sudden that they've gotten there, now everyone's criticizing you somehow. They got there somehow. It's not like they did it all by themselves. So I've been defending you. But in this case, if someone asks you a question about someone else's kids, isn't the right thing to say, whether or not you have a point, that the kid has a lot of potential? In other words, you say nice things about the other guy's kid who's still a kid.
I said, I'm not even worried about the boy's 12 years old.
Right.
Who knows what he's going to do? Make me...
But shouldn't somewhere there be how you're rooting for him? Because he's a 12-year-old kid. He will hear these quotes.
I'm not rooting for him. I don't know him. So I'm not rooting for him. Let his daddy root for him. I root for my son. You root for your son.
Sure. Why are those two things mutually exclusive?
If hey, his son is out there, my son is out there. People going to either talk good or bad about him.
But your son is about to go into the NBA, might win a national championship. Knock wood, I picked him
he's going to win a national championship.
And his kid is 12 years old.
Yes, that's why I really don't care about his kid. He got to worry about his own kid. Now, if I say something about your kid, it was my opinion. That's not saying that my word is the final word, but my word is the final word in my family.
But this is the kind of thing where people will say, okay, I hear this from people and I argue with them. Yeah, we'll give him credit. He does have a big imagination. He did get his kid to a certain place. But he's wrapped up in himself to the point where he doesn't have the perspective that, hey, that's a 12-year-old kid. Maybe say something nice or not at all.
Well, I'm always going to say something, whether it be nice or mean. You can take it how you want it. Now, if you're touchy and you take it in a bad way, that's on you. It's in a good way that, hey, make him better than you. And you know what? When he is better than you or whatever, I don't care.
We heard the comments about Jordan one day. We heard Barkley another day. You know, I get your point about LeBron and the kids and all of that stuff, even though I agree with LeBron to some degree. But my question to you would be, what do you say when people like myself and others listen to your comments and we say, that doesn't seem to be about your kids. It seems to be about you. That your sons, Lonzo is spectacular, and LeAngelo and LaMelo, they're going to be spectacular, it appears. But it appears to be more about you than about them. And you're not thinking about that and how that could potentially have a negative effect on them. What do you say to that?
It's not going to be a negative effect because I feel that everybody has their own opinion. What I mean by that is I don't have to make it about me. Those are my boys. So the thing is, if everybody's looking at Lonzo play, don't worry about me. I'm not even on the court. But they say, the guy tells me, he says, man, you know what? You're bigger than your son's playing. That's because you're watching the wrong thing. Now, negativity sells. Nobody don't want to hear all this good stuff.
No, that's accurate.
So Lonzo good as heck. But I got the big mouth, so everybody want to quiet me up. But guess what? It ain't gonna happen. And they saying I'm making it about me. I don't have to have it don't have to be about me. I got everything I want. I'm going to generate this wealth around my boys where he won't be in that 70% where you say, oh, them kids are broke. I'm not doing this for me. I got everything I want. So I'm doing this specifically for my boys. I'm going to build this empire, and guess what? Folks don't like that.
I'm not mad at that, but I'm not letting you get away with that. And here's what I mean.
Talk to me.
You know, probably just as well, if not better than I do, that because of your mouth and because you're going to speak your mind and because you're going to say what you're going to say, even if you're right, you know what people are going to target. They're going to target your boys. And I'm not talking about just basketball, because when I spoke on First Take, the thing that I have a concern about They're still kids. And as a result, your son could be totally innocent of anything. We live in a world of social media. Everybody got a camera. They're going to lie. They're going to speculate. They're going to put out stuff. It could be anything. And your sons could end up being harmed because somebody is targeting you because they don't like your mouth. What do you say to that?
What I say, that's why you lift weights. You want to harm me? Go ahead. But like I said, it's just
not talking about they ain't gonna come at you like, but they're not gonna come at you like that.
Yes, they ain't gonna come at me like that. And this is what I tell my boy. Right. Whatever I say is what I say. Two things that's going on right here. I know what my boy's about, and he knows what I'm about. And we ain't scared of nothing. So if you want to come at me or my boys, we will be prepared. So I'm not worried about that. My son know how I am.
I'm saying you don't. But I'm not talking about. I mean, obviously the media.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about. Blogosphere. People in the street. You don't worry about any of that.
Heck no.
I'm literally talking about people. I'm talking about people lying. I'm talking about people trying to set your sons up. Yes. I'm talking about people trying to do anything. You don't worry about that.
No, because I know what my son's about. I know what I'm about. So if people come in here and say, "Oh, LaVar's this, LaVar's that," my boy know what I'm about. So you can say what you want. It's always going to be people. It's just like people used to say, I'm big, and they. Oh, LaVar's this, LaVar's that. You can say whatever I am, just don't touch me.
So just to be clear, your attitude is you're marketing your sons. This is what you do. This is how you are. You're not going to make sure they're one of the 70%, which is the number you just threw out there.
Right.
This is what it is, and you're going to be unapologetic about that.
I ain't apologizing about nothing. I don't live that way. I don't have to apologize about nothing because I don't do nothing I regret.
Okay.
I'm Max Kellerman. Thanks for stopping by. Before you go, hit the button below to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a moment of me taking down Stephen A. Smith.